This is the Barbados Today evening news for Wednesday, December 6. Thank you for joining us. I am Mary Claire Williams. International Business Minister Donville Inniss today said he is shocked at the European Union's decision to include Barbados on a list of global tax havens. Barbados is among 4 Caribbean countries named on the list, which was published yesterday. Inniss told a news conference this afternoon that government has taken steps to ensure that it complies with international regulations.
Barbados is not a non-cooperative jurisdiction in taxation matters or any other matter. We remain very cooperative, but true to our ideals and policies as a sovereign nation, as we strive to be in international financial jurisdictions around the world. With respect to the way forward, we will dispatch a detailed correspondence to the European Union this week, requesting an urgent review of their rather unfortunate listing of Barbados as a non-cooperative jurisdiction. Secondly, being mindful that our region will continue to be under scrutiny and attack from other regional groupings and multinational organizations, Barbados will once again request a regional dialogue on the matter with the goal of establishing a high-level regional team of experts to engage with external parties on behalf of the region.
Energy company Sol says it is considering rehiring the former team at Esso Black Rock service station. The workers' contracts were terminated as a result of a change in management on December 1st. The service station had been temporarily closed to facilitate upgrades and maintenance in line with Sol's health, safety and environment policy. A statement from the company today said Sol has been proactively seeking to find alternate placements for the majority of the staff. A St. James man has been remanded to prison after appearing in court on drugs and firearms charges. 21-year-old Nicholas Ishmael Rahim Hall of Halls Village, St. James, was charged with unlawful possession of a firearm, unlawful possession of 6 rounds of ammunition, and unlawful possession of 28 grams of cannabis. Members of the anti-gun unit were on duty on Husbands Road, St. James, when they spotted Hall as the pillion rider on a motorcycle without a helmet earlier this week. He jumped from the cycle and ran away, and the officers pursued and held him, and they also discovered a firearm, ammunition and drugs in his possession after searching Hall. He was subsequently arrested and charged for the offences. He appeared before Magistrate Wanda Blair in the Whole Town Magistrates Court today and was remanded until January 3rd. In more court news, a St. Michael man has been bailed $5,000 after appearing in court this morning charged with rape. Jermaine Ryan Gill of Haynes Hill, Map Hill, who was the subject of a wanted man bulletin, was captured by police on Sunday in Britons Hill. He appeared before Magistrate Christy Cuffy Sargent in the District A Magistrates Court and was bailed with 1 shorty. He is due back in court on March 29th next year. Gill is to report to the District A police station every Wednesday before noon as part of his bail conditions. Transport and Works Minister Michael Lashley is calling on members of the judicial system to enforce the new penalties for drunk driving. The Road Traffic Amendment Act of 2017, which was passed in Parliament last month, imposes stiffer penalties on offenders. Drunk drivers are fined $5,000 or 2 years in prison or both on the first conviction and $10,000 in fines on the second conviction. But addressing this morning's launch of the Massey United Insurance Driving Skills Academy, Lashley said it is not enough to increase penalties to deal with what he considers a major concern to the public.
We decided that is to increase the penalties for drunk driving. And that is a major concern in Barbados, in spite of the fact that in relation to the evidence, the concrete or documentary evidence, there's a little challenge. But when we speak to the stakeholders, we recognize that there is a concern in relation to drunk driving in Barbados. And we increase the penalties, because we believe that once we increase the penalties, it will act as a deterrent. And then what we have to do to ensure that we enforce these provisions, that we have all our stakeholders on board, be it Royal Barbados Police Force, even you all out there, Barbadians recognizing that people are being reckless on the road, report them, and so that the police can get into action so that we will have effect of the provisions that are within the law.
A fitting tribute this morning to former Governor General Sir Elliott Belgrave. The Boscobel Primary School was today renamed the Elliott Belgrave Primary School at a special assembly in honor of one of its most illustrious pupils. Sir Elliott said he was honored to be recognized by the institution.
Right now I feel I am in God heaven and Kitty's palace. For the benefit of those who are unfamiliar with that down-to-earth turn of phrase, let me just explain that it is just another way of saying I have been so overwhelmed by the scope of this celebratory event. Pomp, the pageantry, and the outpouring of joy, that it makes me feel as though I am having a foretaste of heaven right here on the grounds of my old school. It certainly can't get better than this.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Thank you for staying with us. We're back with news from the region. The government of Dominica today announced new initiatives to encourage investment in the wake of Hurricane Maria. Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit told a press briefing this morning that government has decided to lower interest rates for potential borrowers in the agriculture, tourism and manufacturing sectors.
So one of the decisions we took yesterday at the Cabinet is to reduce the interest rate from an all-time low of 3% to a further low of 2%. So we're reducing the interest rates from 3% to 2% on tourism, manufacturing and agriculture. In respect to the tourism facility, we will be also extending that facility to the property owners, the folks who are providing housing to the medical students at Ross to help repair their apartments, buy new mattresses, those who had flooding and appliances, so they will also be able to access those loans.
And finally, on the international scene, U.S. President Donald Trump today announced that Washington recognizes Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and will move its embassy there. The announcement was a break from long-time U.S. policy and potentially threatening regional stability. The announcement sparked outrage among Palestinians, and the international community does not recognize Israeli sovereignty over the entire city and believes its status should be resolved through negotiations.
I have determined that it is time to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. I am also directing the State Department to begin preparation to move the American Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. The United States remains deeply committed to helping facilitate a peace agreement that is acceptable to both sides. I intend to do everything in my power to help forge such an agreement. So today we call for calm, for moderation, and for the voices of tolerance to prevail over the purveyors of hate.
And that's news this evening. Remember, you can get more on our website, www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, and like us on Facebook. We're on Izumi Media in bus terminals and Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also find us on Mix 96.9 FM. I am Mary Claire Williams. Have a good evening.